Top of the morning, microphone check. 1 2, 1 2, microphone check. 3 4. Good morning, people. Happy, blessed Sunday morning out there. Where is all my prayer warriors at? Shout out to you guys on this Sunday morning. If people out there attending Sunday service, I just want to say to you guys out there, please pray for this universe. Please, you guys. Uh, Pray for me as well. Pray for this universe. We are we are in um, a lot of troubling times this this season of our lives. Things is not going to get any better, but we can get better with the change of our mindset, with the change of what we put out here in the universe. We can change things by just speaking and doing different, showing different, better. We can literally take the initiative to change people mindsets or to make people to see that you don't have to be like the world tell us to be. We can be different. We can choose to be different. Yesterday, you guys, it was Saturday, a good Saturday actually, and I had went to this culture event. It had different cultures of all the world, and they was actually performing. Um, they was actually performing they they way of honoring their culture. You had the Africans, you had the Asians, of course, you had the black people, you had Jewish people. Everybody had their own stage, and they was performing how they celebrate their cultures. And it was just amazing to be down there. I did a little videotape and everything. I would put it here on this channel. I did it on the other channel, so I would put it here on this channel. But when you get to see other people and how they enjoy their heritage and how they so happy to be where, um, how they so happy to display their identity, it's an amazing, it's such an amazing spirit to see each culture how they embrace their culture, their own culture. Even our black people, they literally they showed out on the stage yesterday. They had I was saying they had a lot of talent, right? It was a lot of talent that was displayed yesterday. So I want to say shout out to them guys at that festival. It was real nice. But anyways, I'm only in here this morning to speak. Well, not only to speak, but to listen to Sunday motivational speeches, words from my philosopher. You guys already know Mr. Les Brown, right? So, with no further ado, let's get into this. Uh, I'm testing out some things. I'm only going to be in here, like I say, 30 minutes, but I'm testing out some things. So, I'm going to run through what I am testing out here, and we're going to get right to the message of this morning, Mr. Les Brown. Okay, let's get it. Mr. Les Brown. He done changed a lot of lives out there. I ain't the first one, and I ain't gonna be the last one. Me, myself, I embodied what he was saying. I embodied his work, his words, how he put it, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a person like him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why when I put it in, I push it out. That's right. Like him, because what he said is this. If you listen to me and I change your life, then what you could do is speak those words and change somebody else's life. Okay, okay. Yes, yes, yes. I don't know how that worked. I am trying a different uh, intro here, and it seemed like it went okay. But I'm gonna keep trying that today. So I'm gonna be in here today for real, just to because I've been working on some new things. Okay, and I'm literally gonna be in here to try to get this a little bit better, right? I have to start getting a little bit better at this now, you guys. I've been so blessed to do this. I've been so thankful into doing this. Like, just, this is a new hobby, right? So I'm so thankful for this. Okay. All right. Let's listen to my mentor, my philosopher, Mr. Les Brown. Look what he say on that. Sometimes you might even be or might think of yourself as ugly, right? I don't know why he put that up there, but it was okay. That's just a little funny how the word capturing on that. Happy said Sunday. Happy blessed Sunday to everybody out there in the universe. Let's listen to the man himself, Mr. Les Brown.
I might be dumb, I might can't, but I'm still here. And so as you begin to look at the fears in back of you, you came through those fears and you're still here. See, that's how powerful you are. And so whatever the volcano is, you have the capacity to take that volcano, the capacity to jump in it and find your true identity. Here's another thing that keeps a lot of people from taking on the volcanoes and jumping into the challenges that they're confronted with. The fear of making mistakes or not feeling good enough. Guess what? You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. Guy said this is true. He said the person who has never made a mistake hasn't done anything. If you're going to make some mistakes, if you want to do something here, you're going to fall flat on your face. You're going to be criticized when you come out into the arena called life. You're going to feel awkward and stupid and dumb sometimes. Goes with the territory. But it's okay. What's important is that you bring your stuff out. Are you good enough? Prepare yourself. See, there's no substitute for competency. A positive attitude won't get it. Being enthusiastic won't get it. So you got to prepare yourself. You've got to develop yourself. You've got to practice. You've got to work. You've got to do your homework. You've got to do your research. I can't attitude, but I know I can't aptitude. And competency builds confidence. And confidence feeds into competency. The better you become, the more confident you feel, and the more confident you feel, the better you want to become. You realize that you have no ceiling, that you can better whatever you've done so far. You can go beyond that. You don't become cocky and arrogant, feeling that you've already arrived, as most people have. And that's why they've settled for less than what they rightly deserve in life, because they feel they've arrived and they say, well, I can rest now. I can rest on my laurels. No, no. Long as you breathe, you've got some more work to do for you to achieve. The publisher of USA Today said that unless you've made some major mistakes in life, you haven't started living yet. So a lot of people, if you've never made any major blunders, made some major mistakes, lost some money, taken some serious risks, you haven't started living yet. You don't call that living. Not rocking the boat, going through life quietly, tiptoeing safely to an early grave. No. You got to take some chances. You want to bring some adventure to your life. See, a lot of people, because they don't want to make any mistakes to take the level, a lot of people don't want to fail. Fear of failure, fear of success, and guess what else? Fear of the unknown. I saw a guy last week, came up to visit me, haven't for years, Bob Boyd from Columbus, Ohio. Bob Boyd, motivational tapes. Introduced me to a lot of motivational positive thinking. Bob Boyd, that I know has been involved, personally I know, and I've been involved in business deals with him. Bob has had failures that I know. 30 business failures since I've known him since 1972. Incredible. So I wanted to hear this deal Bob was bringing me. Les, I've got to talk to you. So he came in the traditional Bob Boyd fashion. Hello, Les, how you doing? Bob said, Les Brown, I've got a deal. You know, you get exposure to a lot of people. Man, I've got a deal. I'm thinking this. He want me to join Amway? What is this? Man, I've got something going. Man, it's a money machine. Tell me about it, Bob. But here's what was going on in my mind. Bob didn't mention anything about all the losses, deals we'd lost. It never came up in conversation. It was like, this is the first deal he ever brought me. I said, what courage? You know what the church has said about courage? He said, courage is the ability to go from failure to failure without losing it. So you want to courageously hold on to your dream and not lose enthusiasm. See, Bob has not internalized failure. Things just didn't work out the way he wanted them to work out. He's still looking for his power goal at the end of the rainbow. Les, let me tell you something, man. You've got to see this with the things you're doing. You're now on PBS. Les, you'll make a fortune. Just can't wait to tell you about it. I said, tell me, Bob, tell me. Now, explain to me what I just told you. I said, I don't know what it is, but I want to do it. I want to do it. I didn't even know. So I like the fact that Bob has not lost his fight. Bob is still hungry. Bob still sees his dream. Bob is still searching for a way to make it happen. He doesn't care about people talking about it. Man, he's never kept a job. Guys had 15 or 20 different jobs, all these business deals. Bob has turned a deaf ear to that. A guy in Los Angeles, over the front page of the newspaper, he just passed the bar after taking it 48.
Okay, if there's one AI site builder you need to meet, it's his dope.
Okay, there go the ads again. No, I ain't yet, okay?
More than enough reason and excuses not to take it. His son has he could have been a little assistant, a clerk. People all of a sudden used to laugh at this guy. Like, are you taking the bar lately? People will do that too. You know, people talk about John Kennedy Jr. failing a bar. Did you read the newspaper that I didn't see that, but did they make a bigger ding as they did when he failed? No. You know why? People like to see you fail. They like to see that. People like, I don't know why it's set up like that. I was on the expressway, traffic was jammed up. You know what was happening? It was an accident. People pull over to the side to get out of their car to go look, to see somebody else's suffering. That's why I talk. So people like to hear other people's, get it caught up in that. Then they go and fight in their own lives because that's all they focus on. But with the concrete volcano, like a gentleman who decided it doesn't matter times I fail, I'm going to caress through it. I don't care what people say. I don't care what they think. This is something that I want that gives my life meaning. You got a volcano like that in you somewhere.
When I think about the three pillars of something that would be your anchor, a foundation to drive you into the future, to live a big dream, to live a big life, what you think about, you bring about. You know, as a man thinketh, so is he. Dr. Carter G. Woodson said that if you can determine what a man shall think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. He's feel inferior. You never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will sit himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, you never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. If there's no door, his very nature will demand one. And I think that in many cases, governments and religious institutions have really unwittingly crushed the dreams and aspirations and the visions that people themselves. Not all, but a lot of them. And I think it's incumbent upon the individual to take responsibility, to develop yourself, to expand your mind and your vision, to seek out experiences. You know, Helen Keller said life should be a daring adventure. It's boring. And start to dream. What do you want? What do you really want for your life? I remember going to Auschwitz, walking down the halls in the Nazi concentration camps and seeing pictures of men and women who had dreams. And these people were terminated. And one of the things that I heard in my mind when I reflected about Viktor Frankl, who was there, he said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. He talked about the people who were able to survive the inexpressible cruelties of Nazis, those who either believed in God or had someone that they loved that they were determined to see, or some cause bigger than themselves. And in my case, my goal was to buy my mother a home. That was my big dream. And that caused me to read things and to listen to things to fuel my imagination. And then to develop my skills to becoming a voice of anything that's important is creating a community of collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. And it started with a man, Mr. White.
That's big right there. He called that OQP, only qualified people around in your circle. That is so big, you guys. Only qualified people should be in your circle.
Washington, who said, someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. It could start one person, and then it goes from there. Associate people who share your values, associating with people, like-minded people who have dreams, who have working on and being in that community. Studies say that one goose can fly 40% further in formation with other geese than can ever fly by itself. In fact, I'm thinking about a scientific study where they exposed them to electronic shock, and after they increased it, it killed them instantly. But then they put these rats in groupings with other rats, and then what happened was that they continued to increase the shocks of these rats, and they increased it over 10 times more. It took far more to kill them than what it took with just one. And so there's something about being in a community of people who share your dream, who hold you accountable, who challenge you, who call you out, you can't see that you have within you. Inspire you to step up. Ebony Magazine, the late Johnson, who started
OQP. That is so big. Some of us have to learn these type of things later on in our lives. Sometimes it's not quietly our fault either, and sometimes it is, like family curses and family influence that keep us from being um, better within your mindset, better within your heart. Sometimes uh, we can grow up like this. Now, it's not, if you really look at the grand scheme of things, it's really not so much anyone's fault, man or woman, parents, grandparents. Is more of an individual problem more than anything, because if you do not seek out something different than the world is actually showing us, then it ain't your fault, because you don't know. We only know what we are taught to know. And if you're not taught to look outside the box, to look into life a little bit more deeper, if you're not taught to do those things, then you're just going to do what this world tells us to do, right? It's only when you start really, really engaging inside of yourself. I like to call it personal development. Is when you start looking at this world for the truth of the world, with your eyes wide open. That's when you will become initially woke to all the distractions and all of the propaganda that they put out here, all the fake stuff that they put out here. You know, you won't know it until then. You won't know it until you will just be hurting in the inside and don't even understand why you hurting. You only hurting in the inside because this world only gives us so much information, and it's not really the truthful information. So that can become very uh, hurtful to a person that really knows it should be something different out here in life, that really knows it should be something more out here in life. That becomes hurtful to a person when you start looking at the world and asking why, why, okay? Not asking God why, asking why are those things like this out here in the world. Because I believe truthfully, now I'm not no Bible scholar. I don't really, know so many things about the Bible. Based off, all I really do is go based off I base things off common sense, right? Common sense, and just off, um, how should I say this? Positive things that I would like to really, that I would like to see in this world happen. I don't look at the negative things and like it. I look at the positive things and I love it. So that's how I base my information, right? But let's get back into this. I'm only in here for 30 minutes. I got a couple of more seconds and I'm going to tap out of here. But I will be back because, like I say, today is Sunday and I am working on, um, I'm working on some things. Let's put it like that. So I have to get better. Okay. So let's listen let's listen to a few more of these little details that's Mr. Les Brown is speaking on this Sunday morning.
that with a $500 loan from. He said something in his book called Making It Against All Odds. There's no defense against an excellence that meets a pressing public need. And I suggest to you, one, me, I think there are three pillars of what's required in order to carve out your place in this global economy. There are many steps, but there are three that I think that's indispensable. One is working on your mind. Be ye not conformed to this world, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. The second is,
Boom. That's the message. You have to really work on yourself. Now we don't really get this until our older age, maybe like 30, 40. And in some cases, which is like mine, I started in the late 40s. Well, in the mid 40s. I really started working on my heart and my mind in the late 40s. So it's never too late. But some of us kind of pick it up at the age of 30, like right in the, 30 ish. Some people start picking up then. You won't really develop it. If you're really special, you will develop some form of of how should I say this? Of understanding that this world is really different than what they tell us it is. You will kind of start picking it up in your late 20s if you a special person, right? But 9 times out of 10, you really don't start really becoming real involved in the care of yourself and in the care of how the world treats us until you really start turning 30. But that is big to pick up on what this world is actually showing us and what they not showing us and not telling us, right? And you have to put that inside of your heart and your mind and start asking yourself why. Okay. Like I say, I'm I'm just in my 50s, right? So some would say, "Oh, you older and you talking about this now." But here go the thing. It's never too late. Okay. I did start thinking about these things in my probably, like early 40s, right? But it really didn't catch my heart and my mind to my late 40s. So what I have to say is if you young, don't let this be you. You have a chance right now, especially with this internet. You have a chance, young people. You have a chance right now to really get real information, the good information that really telling you, that's really showing you more about this thing called life. If you look at this and you take it in a positive way, it really will save you a lot of heartaches, a lot of mental frustration. If you really understand how this world is set up and how it really works. Okay, now we almost out of here.
having mindset, discipline yourself to make the sacrifice to engage in ongoing self-study for self-growth and development, developing your communication skills. I can hear Mr. Washington now saying, Mr. Brown, develop your communication skills because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. Nelson Mandela said, if you speak from your mind, you speak in a language that a man understands. But when you speak from your heart, you speak in his language. And so
That's right. Okay, we're gonna stop it right there. This was this was not the message of Mr. Les Brown that I really wanted to bring to you guys this Sunday morning. But nevertheless, this is my philosopher. This is the man that really changed my heart, my mindset. He really opened my heart up to believing in me. Now, when I say that, I've always believed in me, but believing believing negative and believing positive is two different things. See, I was around What he say? Only qualified people. I was around people that didn't know nothing but what they was taught. A lot of it is negative. So Mr. Les Brown really opened my mind and my heart up to positive way of thinking, right? A positive way of looking at this thing called life. And when you start looking at things in a positive way like that, it just brings a whole totally different outlook on everything that you have learned in this thing called life. So that's why I to the young people a lot about what they believe in, what they study, what they was taught. I really talk to the young people about this because if you don't have people around you to really open up your eyes to different things out here in the world, you're only going to have one belief, right? And that is what you was taught. That's why it's very important to be around quality people, right? Yes, yes. Okay. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. Really, when y'all get a chance to check these videos out, man, I'll be really so happy and glad because this takes a lot of work for me to do this. Because I'm not great with it, but I have been studying it, right? So it takes a lot for me to really do this. And like I say, I wasn't a person that talked a lot. So uh, that's another thing that makes it, it makes it that much better, because I wasn't a person that talked a lot. And now I can get on here and I can express what's in my heart. And that's all it is. It's just me expressing what's in my heart, you guys. So once again, I want to send shout out to the people when y'all get a chance to check these videos out. I ask you for the people that not subscribe, please go subscribe to the channel for me on YouTube. All you have to do, push up in the search bar, tap in RC Community TV. When you tap that in, it's a bell. Push the bell, push all, push the thumb up like button. Hey, I'm over here trying to gain more subscribers, right? I'm really trying to learn a little bit more about this. If this was at first just a hobby, something that I was doing because I needed something positive to grab and to really care about, right? I'm so thankful that I did this. I'm so thankful that I really took a chance on speaking what's in my heart. Now, I get it. A lot of times, a lot of people is not going to agree, and that's cool. We all are individuals. We all are different. That is cool. But one thing we all have in common is we all is here on this side of the universe. With that being said, I challenge everybody to really start digging in deep inside of your heart. I challenge everybody to really start looking at this thing called life in the big in the grand big scheme of things besides your bills and your car note and your rent note. Stop looking at things. I call it the rat race. Get off the rat race. Stop looking at things as just being uh, uh, as you just being a person here to pay bills and to work until you die. Stop looking at things like that. I challenge y'all to challenge your mind. I challenge y'all to challenge your heart. I challenge you to Go search for a positive speaker, a positive influence, a positive person that can change the way how you see not only yourself, but the way how you see the world. Because this world is changing, you guys. Think about it. The world do change after every, 30, 40 years. So the people that's in the 50 club, right? We is now fin to see a big change in our lives. Some things is going to shock us. Certain things that we believed in, you're going to see now that none of that wasn't true. Okay. Me being on this spiritual journey for 7 years, I have found out that a lot of things that was brung to us, a lot of things that was taught to us, none of this, a lot of it was not true. A lot of things we have been brainwashed and to believe is true, and that caused us to uh, teach it to our kids. So just think about it. It's all a behavior, things that we was taught. So we owe it to ourselves, the people that's in the 50 club, we owe it to ourselves to find out the real information about this thing called life. It ain't just work until we die and pay bills. It ain't just that. It's more than that, right? That's what I challenge this universe to do. Our kids is count on us older people, the ones that's in the 50 club. Our kids is counting on us to have and to show them the real information. It ain't just about, yes, don't get me wrong. This world that we live in, it is about um, what we can do, not only for ourselves, but what we can do for others. That's what this world is really about. How much we can enlighten others, how much information uh, that we can, how much information that we can display to others. We have to start making it positive. We need to get away from the negative side of how they want us to believe. Let's let's try to always push good and positive information out here to the people, not the messy, not, how should I say this? Not the messy that they push on us. They push on a lot of messy stuff. They push on a lot of stuff that really do not help us to become a better person. So we need to start pushing that out to the youth, figuring out how uh, we can all just learn something and be about something different, be about something better. Okay. That's my time. I am over the 30 minutes by 10 minutes. Okay. But I will be back up in here. And man, listen, I thank y'all so, so much. I really, really do. Okay. I really, really do. So enjoy this beautiful Sunday weather out here. Enjoy it, because we do know winter is coming. Winter is coming. I love the winter time though. I don't know about you guys, but I really, really love the winter time. Okay, I'm going to get on out of here, and I will be back on here in a few hours, you guys. So till next time I put my face on this place. Peace, love, and positivity.